y'all that I was going to do something yesterday, and what we did was we went to Mexico, and we went to Mexico to go to the dentist. And the reason that we did that is, or one reason that we did that is because we hadn't been to the dentist in a long time. We were supposed to go to the dentist on April 5th, and of course that got canceled. And I called our dentist in June and asked if we could have an appointment. And at that point, it had been over a year, I believe, in June that we had been to the dentist. And so we really needed to um, have our teeth cleaned and all that. And our dentist was still out of commission, which, and they all blame it on the ADA. That's what the American Dental Association told us or whatever. So, um, and we went to our orthodontist. I think I told y'all about this. We went to the orthodontist last week, and that was, I let Mr. Comic Mom do that because I didn't feel very comfortable in that atmosphere where I couldn't go in with my kids, and it was a lot of mask stuff. So anyway, he handled that, and I'm thankful for that. But I did not really want another experience like that. If there is a dentist open, and I don't know, I think some maybe. But anyway, we went down to Mexico yesterday, and none of us had ever been to Mexico, so that was fun. It was pretty easy to get into the country, I'm thankful to say. It's harder to get out, really hard to get out in terms of traffic. There was a lot of traffic, and it was, I mean, people were going in at all angles. It was pretty crazy, and I don't know why. So when we finally got up to the ticket booth to see if we could get a ticket to come back home, um, we had birth certificates, we had driver's licenses, the ones who have a driver's license, or the one who has a driver's license right now, um, and we had passports that were expired, and the expired passports were actually better because he was able to check them, I don't know, with a number or something. And it took 5 minutes or so. So there were a lot of people in line because you had to stop. There were only, I think, 3 lanes open for regular traffic. There was something called a ready lane. I'm not sure what that is. I assume it's like a pre-check thing at TSA. As Mr. Comic Mom said, and you give them more information, and for the convenience of going through more quickly, but it wasn't moving very quickly either. So if everybody was taking 5 or 10 minutes to go through, then that took a while, and so it took us over an hour before we actually got when we got into the kind of traffic jam to get to the ticket booth. And at the ticket, it took us over an hour to get to the ticket booth, and then we were fine after that, so there were no problems. And I really liked being in Mexico yesterday because we didn't have anything to do with the election. There were no signs. I'm sick of seeing campaign signs, and you know we didn't listen to U.S. media until we got to the border and we were in that line, and I listened a little bit, but not a lot. So I was really glad that we were able to spend and my birthday in Mexico, in a whole new, totally different country. That was really, really cool. And to go to the dentist to get our teeth cleaned. And I don't know, I mean, I've had my teeth cleaned a lot, but I don't know that they've ever been that clean. This was sort of a natural, holistic dentist, and I really liked him. And I think our whole family did. And wow, did he do a good job of not only cleaning our teeth, but educating us. And he told us that he had been closed for about a month, and then that patients started calling him and they wanted to come in. Um, and I guess he just opened back up. He wasn't blaming anything on the American Dental Association or whatever, Mexican Dental Association. He wasn't blaming anything on them. I think he just decided to open up because his patients needed it. And, that's just something that in this COVID mess that people haven't really taken into account, and that is that there are lots of just normal, regular appointments that help prevent stuff. And those appointments, because doctors have been closed and this and dentists have been closed and all this. And um, it's been such a mess. I mean, it was a mess with our teeth. Here we were, and I don't think I've ever gone over a year without a cleaning or without seeing the dentist. Usually it's every 6 months. Um, but over a year, I could tell that my teeth, I was worried that he was going to be like, yeah, we have to take all your teeth because they're all rotting. Amazingly, no cavities among any of us, and I'm so thankful for that. Really thankful for that. And we got some really cool flan when we got there from a street vendor. Now, by the time we got out of the dentist, it was getting close to dark, and the food trucks were closing up, and there were only restaurants in Tijuana left. And we tried 3. And the last one that we tried, I had specifically asked at a pharmacia that we went to if he could recommend a place that didn't require us to wear masks. And he did, but when I got there, the girl that was the hostess, she was wearing a face mask and a mask. So I didn't think that was going to bode well for us. And it's interesting because these restaurants that we went to were empty. The first one that we went to was pretty close to the dentist office, and it looked really neat, and it had sidewalk dining and stuff. But and there were maybe 2 tables that were full of people. I don't know that they had any capacity limits, but I don't know. I do know that they had a temperature thing, and they were taking people's temperature as you went in, and also you had to wear a mask to the table. And that was ridiculous. And I wasn't going to do that. And I know everybody was hungry, and at that point everybody was pretty mad at me. I was mad at me too, but it I'm not the one who made or who follows that silly rule. So the last place that we went to, I just told the hostess, I said, of course, she had on a face mask and a regular mask. And where we were, we spoke a little Spanish, but they speak a lot of English, I think, as far as I could tell. Most people seem to. The dentist was almost an English speaker, almost without an accent, really. So, anyway, I told her, I said, we'll just go back to the United States and spend our money. Um, and I hope she understood me. It was amazing to me that businesses, or I mean, and I know this happens all the time in the United States. It happened the other night at Fat Burger when my son tried to place an order and was not allowed to without a mask. And we just ended up going somewhere else. But it just amazes me that businesses, which in a free market system are very centered on the customer, what the customer wants and what they can provide to the customer, what the businesses can provide to customers. And that's not happening now. I mean, here was this almost empty restaurant. The first one, well, I think all 3 of them we went to were somewhat empty, but I didn't see any lines for restaurants. But and it was about 5:30 or 6. Maybe people eat later, I don't know, but there were not a lot of people in there, and yet they wouldn't let us walk to the table without a mask, and they wanted to take our temperature. And I said, "No, we don't need to eat that much." So it took us a couple of hours. We did end up coming to the United States, and we went to Huntington Beach, and by that time it was 9 or 9:30, and um, So yeah, it was actually more than a couple, about 3 hours, because we had to spend all that time in the or going to the ticket booth. And so by the time we got back uh, to Huntington Beach, I knew there would be an In-N-Out burger, and there was. And we can only go the drive-through. You can go in, but I think you can't sit down, or this ridiculous stuff. But we were able to sit outside at a picnic. They have had some tables out this In-N-Out burger, so we went to the drive-through and got our food, and went on the picnic tables and ate, and it was very enjoyable. It was really a nice birthday meal. I am going to go to another place, actually officially on sometime later this week, uh, to a pasta restaurant in Huntington Beach that doesn't require masks. So, um, it turned out okay. It turned out okay, but we had to say no to 3 places, and they didn't seem to care if they had our money or not. So, you know, just like Fat Burger didn't seem to care if they had our money. Um, so, I don't know. I certainly wanted to eat there, and the next time, if we get to go again, I hope we do. Um, I will certainly try to. We'll get there early enough to get some stuff at the food trucks, because they were really good, but they were all gone. I think by the time we got out, because it was an afternoon of cleanings for the dentist. So, that was the way it went. We have to start saying no to this stuff, even if it's something stupid like wearing a mask to the table. And my family was all willing to put on a mask, and I was willing. I said, "Go on, get some food, and we'll, and I'll just go sit in the car or whatever, and y'all can get food and get it to go." But Mr. Comic Mom wanted us to all sit down and eat together, and we got to do that, and without compromising for a ridiculous rule that doesn't do anything. And the first place we went, I went back to them, and I sort of begged a little bit, and I talked to the manager, and he just wouldn't do it. And when I was walking up to talk to them about this and to see if we could work out anything, but they were very unwilling to work out anything. There were 3 people that worked there that were all playing and joking, and playing with each other's mouth a little bit. I mean, it was a nice, clean restaurant, but they were just joking like people in the restaurant business do, which is fine. I'm glad they were doing that, and really close together, touching each other, and I thought, they're doing that, which, you're not supposed to be doing, right? Because you're supposed to be 6 feet apart. They're doing that, but they won't let me come in without a mask and, without a temperature check. So no, we have to start saying no to this stuff. And I came back home and looked to see who was up, who was winning the selection, and or losing the selection or whatever. And I just it's not that important. Whoever wins president, governor, what is important is that we start saying no to stuff, no matter who's in office. Okay, it doesn't really matter. There's tyranny being leveled on us right now, and it doesn't matter who's in office, who's the one who's being tyrannical. I know of the 2 leading establishment candidates for president, that one seemed like slightly less tyrannical than the other in some ways. But it's just, people are going along with this, and they want more tyranny, but a lot of us don't, and we're the ones that have to say no. You don't want my money? Okay, great. I will go spend my money somewhere else. And right now, we have the freedom to make those choices and to vote with our pocketbook, and that's the best thing that we can do. And I don't know, people, I think in Ireland, They're not allowed to visit any neighbors. They're not allowed, I think, to go more than 1 kilometer or so from their house. It sounds horrible, and it's coming here unless we start saying no, and start it quickly and start it emphatically. No, we won't go in. No, you didn't think we wanted to get something to eat last night? And also, I mean, here we were in Tijuana, and we were not eating. But you know what? That In-N-Out burger was one of the best things I've ever had. I just really tasted everything by the time we finally got there, and we were all able to eat at one table outside. It was a beautiful evening. We were able to eat as a family, and that's what my husband wanted, and I'm glad. So it was a nice birthday meal. It was really a nice birthday meal, and I'm very thankful for it. Um, we didn't make it to the pasta place by the time that it closed. Otherwise, we would have gone there, but that's okay. We got to go to In-N-Out Burger, and I felt good about spending my money where I did, and not spending it with people who require stupid rules for me to get into their restaurant. I don't care what country they're in or what state. And we went across the country and didn't wear a mask at all. So, and unfortunately, for better or worse, masks are the new symbol of tyranny. So, if you don't want tyranny, there's nothing we can do at this point about the selection process. But we can say no every day on an individual basis, and we really need to start doing that. Okay, I'm going to read a poem called No Reply. Now, usually I read Charles Bukowski, but today I'm going to read Leonard Moore's poem from Leonard's collection, Geography of Jazz. It's going to be quick because, thank you, I will be right there. Hold on. There's pizza. The Geography of Jazz. No reply. Sunk into the chord of night. Maybe it was late. I talked by phone into the hum of power lines, into the twice-told coffee house, into the time of your eardrum. My cords coiling till the receiver had only itself to listen. That's No Reply by Leonard Moore from the Geography of Jazz, which I bought in North Carolina last February in Raleigh at a bookstore. No, at a signing at the Cameron Village Library, which is now, I'm sure, a whole different place and not open to art and artists and all that, But I'm thankful that was our last visit, I guess, to the Cameron Village Library before it was filled with tyranny, as all libraries have been, unfortunately, at least in the United States. So, anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I hope you enjoyed the poem. I'm going to go enjoy pizza, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.